Our speaker today has been training and coaching leaders for over 15 years. From in-person stages with audiences of thousands to virtual training with small teams, he has motivated, challenged, and inspired leaders around the world. He is the author of 2 books, Leading While Green and Leading While Scared. His consulting firm, the Cardell Group, trains leaders around the world through their interactive workshops and strategic reflection retreats. He also serves as a faculty educator with Duke Corporate Education. As much as he loves empowering leaders, his greatest leadership joys and challenges come from being a husband and a father. Please help us welcome Pierre Quinn.
Everybody, Pierre Quinn here. So excited to join you today for the Face of Leadership Conference. I consider it a privilege and honor when Jamie dropped the note in my direction and said, hey, can you join us for this? I was just so excited and I couldn't miss out on this opportunity to share a message with you today as you are on this journey, as we're all on this journey to become better leaders. Round of applause again for Jamie and his team for the launch of the book, for bringing us all together and for allowing us to experience this together today. And I'll tell you, with all of the conversations that have been lined up for us, with all of the opportunities for us to connect, there's no reason that you will walk away. There's no reason that you should walk away from this experience without a perspective, without a connection, without an insight that you can put into your toolkit. That's impossible. That's not going to happen today. When we end our time together today, you will be on your way to becoming a much better leader because of everything that has been poured into you today. Now, for the past 15 years, I've been teaching leaders how to better assess their strengths, how to shape healthier organizational cultures, and how to foster the relationships that lead to personal and professional transformation. And a key factor in all of those spaces, a key factor in strengths assessment, a key factor in shaping healthier cultures, and a key factor to creating transformative relationships is this idea of clarity. Now, maybe some of you have read The Face of Leadership already, and you've experienced Jamie's insights in chapter 6. If not, I'm sure you've ordered it or it's on your way as part of your ticket. And I know that you're going to enjoy what Jamie outlines for us. Now, when we think about clarity, we got to recognize that clarity is the quality of being easily and accurately understood. The quality of being easily and accurately understood. And how many times have you been in a conversation or there's been an email exchange and you've had to reply because of a lack of clarity? No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I intended. That's not what I'm trying to say. We know what it's like to share and not be understood. And we also know what it's like to receive a message, to be the recipient of an idea, but not quite understand it. We know what it's like to wrestle with this lack of clarity. Karen Martin puts it this way. When we talk about clarity, clarity should be a value that we strive for. Clarity should be a state of being that not only we experience, but when people encounter us, they experience it as well. And clarity should also bring about specific outcomes. There should be a benefit to living with clarity. Well, how do we unlock it? That's really the key for the time that we're spending together in these few moments today. How do we unlock clarity? And really, the secret to unlocking clarity is in how much we wrestle with some key questions. Now, consider this. I know many of us are familiar with the SpaceX launch that happens, that the SpaceX launch that happened. We're familiar with the NASA launches, and so many companies now, so many tech organizations are trying to venture into space, and not just venture into space, they're trying to create environments where regular people, where people who are not astronauts, who have not been trained in those sciences, who have not gone through that rigorous testing, they're trying to create environments so that regular people can have space exploration experiences. Here's the thing, though, about a rocket launch. Nearly 1/3 of all rocket launches are canceled. Nearly 1/3 of all rocket launches are canceled. And you know why they're canceled? They're canceled because of weather. And here's the thing about a rocket launch. They're really not going to launch a rocket on an overly cloudy day. Here's why. Two specific reasons. Reason number one, that clouds, depending on the composition of the cloud can disrupt the system. It can disrupt the mechanics. It can disrupt the electronics, depending on the composition of the cloud. So we're going to delay this launch. We're going to postpone this launch if there are too many clouds in the way. Here's the other piece. If there's too many clouds, it prevents clarity. When there are too many clouds in the way, it keeps us from having a clear picture of the space between where we are and where we're looking to go. And that's really the key for us today. I know you're going to pull so many insights from chapter 6 of The Face of Leadership. And I just want to give you a few key questions as you wrestle with clarity personally, as you wrestle with clarity professionally, as you wrestle with clarity, as you mentor, coach, train, inspire, as you build up your organization, as you start your business, as you lead your family, or as you lead your team. There's a few questions that we need to wrestle with. There are a few clouds, and I'm sure there are many more, but for the purpose of our conversation today, we're only going to wrestle with 7 of them. 7 clouds that if we don't push them out of the way, we will never unlock the clarity that we need to go from where we are to where we're looking to be. So here's the first one. The first one has to do with this idea of purpose. And purpose really deals with mission clarity. Purpose really deals with mission clarity. It's the looming question, so why are we here? Why do we exist? What's our purpose? There's a lot of times in organizations where there's a disconnect because sometimes we onboard people, but we haven't clearly articulated the purpose of the organization. So when things start to fall apart, there's not a clear sense of purpose that we can call back to, that we can come back to. And it's also important for us as leaders to recognize that we need to connect the organization's purpose to the individual's purpose. We need to connect our organization's why, reason for being with the purpose of the individual that we're calling to be a part of their organization. So as a result of working with us, not only do we move the mission forward as it relates to purpose, but we also help them as individuals move themselves forward. But if we can't answer the question of why we are here and what's our mission, then this cloud is going to hang and prevent us from having the clarity that we need. All right, here's another one for us to consider. It's the cloud of vision. And the vision cloud looms when we don't accurately answer the question, where are we going? The purpose cloud looms when we don't answer the question of why are we here. The vision cloud looms when we don't accurately answer the question of where are we going. And this trips a lot of us up as leaders because we think it makes sense in my head. I just need people to follow me. It makes sense in my head. If people would just listen to what I'm telling them, we would all get there safely and it would all make sense over time. But as a leader, you got to do more than that. As a parent, you got to do more than that. As a manager, you got to do more than that. As an executive, you have to do more than that. You can't rely on the picture that you have in your head. You have to consistently articulate that picture, the direction that we're going, that vision to the people who are around you. You got to consistently articulate it. And the more you articulate it, the more clarity the people around you will have, there's a reduced apprehension and anxiety that you'll experience, and there will be an increase in trust. But we'll never experience that level of clarity until we can clearly, succinctly, easily describe for people where exactly we're going. Here's the third cloud we got to wrestle with as leaders. The third cloud that looms if we don't accurately answer the questions is the resource cloud. And the resource cloud looms when we don't clearly explain to people what we need to get from where we are to where we're looking to go. You know, I was working with an organization several years ago, and you would put me in the category based on a couple of assessments that I've taken before, this category of visionary leadership. I was working with a small nonprofit team, and one of the leaders said to me on that team, they said, you know, you're the wow. You're the wow. You're that wow type leader. And what I like about you as a wow type leader is that you develop a strong relationship with the how type of leader. And the how type of leader says, once we paint that picture, once we accurately give that vision, how exactly are we going to do it? And what are the tools? What are the resources? What are the supports that we need to bring this vision to reality? It's really frustrating when you articulate a vision and you get people super excited about the direction of the company, the direction of the business, the direction of the family, but you don't clearly explain what we need. We don't clearly articulate to people what are the things that need to be in our toolkit in order for us to get to where we're going. And if we don't clearly explain what we need to move our ideas forward, this resource cloud is going to hang, and we're not going to be able to launch the way that we're looking to launch. Okay, here's the next one. This cloud will hang. This cloud will prevent us from launching. It'll prevent us from getting to that new space, that new territory, that next level. It's the cloud of pushback. The cloud of pushback. And we deal with the cloud of pushback when we're not willing to have conversations with our people about the challenges that we'll experience along the way. It's not just the purpose in terms of our mission. It's not just painting the clear picture in terms of our vision. It's not just putting things in the toolkit as it relates to our resources. It's being able to have those open and honest conversations about here are some of the things that we'll encounter. Here are some of the pushback. Here are some of the dangers and pitfalls on the roads that we'll experience. Here are some of the challenges that we will encounter. We got to let people know, yes, we're clear on the mission. Yes, we're clear on the vision. Yes, we got things packed in the trunk or in the backpack or in the briefcase. And along with that, it's going to be tough. And here is an idea of what some of those tough challenges will look like. You know, working with training and development programs, designing custom leadership programs, coaching executive leaders for the past several years, people always talk about this frustration when they encounter an experience and they say, the leader did not let me know that this could happen. They didn't prepare me for this. They didn't frame this out for me. They didn't tell me that this was potentially on the horizon, and now I'm struggling with it and I'm frustrated. And if they had just let me know ahead of time some of the pushback, with some of the challenges, with some of the headaches, with some of the difficulties could potentially look like, I would be better positioned to deal with what I'm doing right now. I want to challenge you. As you're looking to move your organization forward, as you're looking to launch in a bigger and better way, be honest with people about some of the challenges that we will encounter along the way as we go on this journey. Okay, we're on the other side. We got 3 more to go. And remember, we're talking about these clouds that loom and prevent clarity. And in order for us to unlock clarity, we got to answer these questions so that these clouds can move out of the way. So the next cloud that will loom, the next cloud that will hang, the next cloud that will prevent us from launching and from getting from where we are to where we're looking to go is the cloud that sits low when we don't wrestle with the question that's related to community. And here's how this question hangs out. Here's how this question weighs things down. When we don't take time to wrestle with this idea of, are we the only people that are going in this direction? Are we the only company? Are we the only family? Are we the only organization that's going in this direction, that's trying to do this? And are we pioneers? And as pioneers, are we creating a community based on being a part of the leading edge and inviting people to join us? Or can we find community in people who have been there and done that before? Can we find connection with people who have been there and done that before? No matter how you position it, it's a question of community. Are we the pioneers, and do we need to invite people to join us because we're the leading edge? Or can we connect with people who have been there and done that before? Because no one wants to be by themselves. And even if you're a pioneer, even if you're leading edge, even if it's cutting edge technology, even if you're setting the pace, no one wants to be in a spot where they don't feel a part of a community that's helping them to continue to grow. So what community do we need to start? Or what community or sense of connection do we need to be a part of so that we don't have to feel like we're doing this on our own? And if we don't wrestle with that connection question, if we don't wrestle with that community question, and people start to feel disconnected and isolated, this cloud is not going anywhere, and we won't get the launch that we're looking for. Okay, we got two more. We got two more clouds that we're looking to move out of the way. Two more clouds that if we don't address these key questions, they're gonna hang and they're gonna get in the way of our clarity. Two more clouds that we have to deal with as we unlock clarity. And the next cloud is the cloud that comes from the questions related to development. You know, training and development is a big part of my world. It's a big part of my life. And there are some times when I'm having conversations with individuals, with potential clients, or maybe we've even started an engagement, and we're talking about the value of this experience, the value of a keynote, the value of coaching, the value of a full day training program or a 6-month engagement. We're talking about the value and how transformative it's going to be for the people in the organization. And people will leave organizations when they don't feel like, people will leave schools, they'll leave communities, they'll leave groups when they don't feel like development is happening. So the question of development is really wrestling with this idea of who should we become in the process? Who do you want us to become in the process? It's not just moving the mission forward, not just casting the vision, not just making sure we got the tools and resources in the community. It's the development of people that is so crucial to our journey as leaders. And as you're having those conversations, you need to be able to articulate. You need to be able to communicate. Listen, as we're going on this journey together, here are the skills, here are the areas of your leadership that I want you to develop, or that I'm looking to help you with developing. People need to know that you're not just concerned about the check boxes related to the bottom line and the mission. They need to know that you are concerned as a leader about their development and have a clear sense of how you want them to develop in the process and along the way. Who should I become as a result of working with you? Who should I become? What should change about my life? How should I grow? How should I change? How should I be impacted? How should my worldview shift? How should I encounter How many opportunities am I going to encounter as a result of being around you and being developed by you? And a lot of people, especially with what we've experienced over the last few years, a lot of people are looking for organizations that are willing to pour into them and develop them as much as they are willing to give their skills, talents, gifts, and abilities to the organization. Okay, last one. The last cloud that will hang, that will loom, that will obscure our our view, the last cloud that will challenge our clarity, the last cloud that needs to be pushed out of the way is the one that has to do with this idea of party. Yep, this is the last one for this conversation. And what is the party? What's the party cloud? What's the question? What's the question that is connected to the party cloud as we consider launching, as we consider moving from where we are to where we're looking to go, as we're considering moving things out of the way so that we can have greater clarity? What's that party cloud? And the party cloud is, well, when we get there, how are we going to celebrate? When we get there, what does gratitude look like? When we get there, what does the celebration experience consist of? When we get there, what are the thank yous going to look like? When we get there, how are we going to recognize our teams? When we get there, how will we party? We have a lot of people in organizations around the world who do an incredible job. And they may get a little watch on their 10th anniversary of working with a company. They may get a little gift card. They may get a little party. They may get a little celebration, something that we do every few years. But how many times are we missing out on the incredible opportunity to retain and get the most out of our people by letting them know how we're going to celebrate getting to where we're looking to go? How we're going to celebrate not just the destination, but also the journey. And as a leader, you set the tone for that. You model that. You model what celebration and thanksgiving and affirmation and regard and respect look like. And the better you can answer the question of how will we celebrate when we get there, the more clarity that you're going to have. So remember, when we're looking to launch rockets, nearly a third of rocket launches are canceled because there's not enough clarity. And as you look at where you're looking, as you look at the way forward for you and your organization, there's some clouds that can get in the way: purpose, vision, resource, pushback, development, community, and party. And the better you answer the questions, the more you can lean into being easily and accurately understood, the greater chance you have of moving these clouds out of the way and having a clear view of where you are and where you're looking to go. And it's my hope, it's my wish, it's even my prayer that as we continue in this conversation today, the dialogue, the discussions, the nuggets released, the gems dropped, as you connect with your colleagues and as you jot down notes and use your experience today to continue to grow, I'm hoping for you. I'm wishing for you. I'm really supporting you in this idea that as you continue on this journey, that when people continue to look at you, they will continue to see the face of a real leader. Thank you.